May 29th, 1453 marked the end of the medieval period when the city of Constantinople fell. This also marked the end of the Roman Empire, which lasted nearly 1500 years, and subsequent termination of silk and spice trade routes, which was now controlled by Muslims. Spices were among the most expensive and in demand products of the Middle Ages, used in medicines and other stuff. Because of the closure of this vital trade route, the Western countries were in desperation of these commodities. The fall started a chain of events that led to the significant discoveries in terms of exploring new lands, uncharted territories, and ultimately setting up colonies. In short, this event changed humanity on global scale, getting humans closer to one another from all parts of the world. Opening new trade routes, new cultures, new professions, new traditions came into place. The great voyages were financed and set out to explore the lands and establish their colonies by the kings of wealthy empires like Spain, Portugal, Britain, and France. But after the fall of Constantinople, they were desperately looking for the sea route to India. Thousands of men, hundreds of ships perished in search of the same. But the perseverance by Portuguese led to the discovery of sea route to India. Henry the Navigator had opened the west coast of Africa for trade by 1460, but his expeditions fell a long way short of discovering the southernmost cape of Africa. In 1483, Diogo Cao set out to discover the new sea route to India. Cao reached mouth of Congo River and then to Cape Cross, which was nearly 22 degrees south of equator. He opened up further 1,500 miles of African coast, but still the land seemed to continue further and further to the south. Cao never found an end to the land. He never found a passage to the east. He and many others became convinced that the African continent went all the way to the South Pole, and that there was no sea passage around Africa to sail east. In 1487, Bartholomew Diaz set off on another expedition to open up sea route to India. He followed Cao's route and sailed further south till he crossed Tropic of Capricorn. Afterwards, they were caught in the storms and it pulled them out to sea and they lost sight of the land. Diaz persevered sailing southwards for days until eastwardly currents drove him back to the east. There was no sign of land, so Diaz set north and soon the land was sighted. He was able to make a landing at a place called Mossel Bay. When he followed the coast from Mossel Bay, he discovered to his surprise that he was traveling northeast, and in that moment, he knew he was sailing along the east coast and into the Indian Ocean. But he could not continue further as the crew was on the verge of mutiny, as they were exhausted, scared of the strange and stormy waters, and uncertainty of what lies ahead. Diaz, with heavy heart, had to turn his ships right at the gateway of Indian Ocean and named the cape as Cape of Storms. But the King of Portugal changed it to Cape of Good Hope, as it gave them hope that one day Portuguese will go into the unknown to discover India from the Cape of Good Hope. And in 1497, a decade after Diaz's journey, Vasco da Gama set sail to India, following the route of Diaz till the Cape of Good Hope, where Diaz accompanied him during the first leg of his journey. Reaching the Cape of Good Hope, they started following the coast, and they arrived to Mozambique. From there, they followed to the coast of Mombasa. From there, they went to Malindi, where he found a good reception, replenished his ships, and to his utter surprise, found the Arab Ahmad ibn Majid, who could take them all the way to Indian coast. And on 20th May 1498, Vasco da Gama arrived at Calicut on Malabar coast. It took 23 days to reach India after they had left the African coast. The Europeans were given warm welcome from the Indians and the governor Saromin. Thus, due to their relentless quest of sea route and their perseverance against all odds, made Portuguese the first to reach India and start trade with Indians directly by sea route. Due to this legendary voyage, India was rediscovered by Vasco da Gama of Portugal.